Hey. Hey, all right, I had to go quick and shut my radio down. So I sent out a text with an old link. So sorry about that, everybody. More than likely, if anybody sees this or utilizes this information, they're gonna be coming into it late because I'm like technically disabled. So, anyway, sorry I sent out the wrong link. So, if you're here on replay, let me know you're here on replay. I am going to use this video in material for future use. I This is kind of a bonus. I already came on in June to do a coaching session, but I just wanted to get this information out as I'm kind of actually going through it. I thought it would be good to get some education out while things are fresh in my mind. So, what is going on? What I want to kind of alert people to, especially if you're in that do it yourself community, if you are not seeing me routinely, you're in the do it yourself, this is information you really need to know. So, when we are doing our cleanup, cleaning up our liver, cleaning up the bile, cleaning up the colon, doing all this parasite cleanse and all of that. There are some things that seem to happen to a lot of people, women more so than men, and it can happen if you have your gallbladder. It can happen if you don't have your gallbladder. So when we have been doing so much of this work, and we think that we have things flowing good, we're thinking our organs of elimination are open, but they're really not always as open as we think. So I have been being naughty, sassy, self-destructive. um, I honestly, I never want to be a hypocrite, but I'm totally honest with you. I just can't seem to get like my shit together when it comes back to doing that hard 30 on those 7 inflammatory foods. So I had gotten to the point where I figured I'm like doing maintenance, and I let my 80/20 get way out of control on me. I've been saying this for months, like, and I still am just going around this bush. It's just dumb. So what will happen in these months is we can really, once we start dumping out of that liver, we can really get some stagnation in that bile. We can get some trouble in the gallbladder. We can get, because that sludge, like all that bile, everything is going somewhere, right? So, for me, what happens when, how I know that this is happening, how I'm backed up, if my gallbladder, if my bile ducts, if things are backed up, my first clue to that is weight gain. So I'm not really fond of getting on the scale all the time, and being OCD about losing weight, because it's not calories in and calories out. But you do want to know your body. You want to pay attention. So I knew I was feeling full around the middle, and like for me, my lymph system, like my veins and stuff on my arms, they always stay like really good. But when my lymph is backed up, I really will get engorged in the chest. I am big chested anyway, and when my bile, I mean, so there's an estrogen component there is, but like I'm should be postmenopausal. I shouldn't have that much estrogen at this point. But those lymph glands, and I'll feel it kind of around my heart. I'll feel like a heaviness in my chest, maybe even breathing a little bit, not short of breath, but where you just feel heavy. I will get really full right under my rib cage, kind of over that liver and small intestine area, and my girth will just be bigger than it should. And then So this just happened to me. We were gone for the weekend and I knew it was getting yucky. I was having some heartburn. I just, had ate restaurant grease, and I just had a gallbladder episode like a few weeks ago, and totally guilty. I didn't stay on that 444 protocol long enough. I didn't stay there long enough. I got to feeling better. So then I just went off of it. I didn't stick with it long enough. So I didn't get that sludge in my gallbladder resolved. So again, we got home last night. We'd been gone for the weekend, and I just felt heavy. I got on the scale and I was almost 10 pounds heavier than what I was the week before. So, I mean, like, I was eating more than I should, but not like that. Not like eating enough calories to gain 10 pounds. That weight is absolutely fluid, is lymph fluid. My ankles maybe were a little bit puffy, but it was lymph and gut. And there too, like, now that I've got different things fixed in my colon, so I will get constipated where I never used to before. So what I like to do when that happens is I will so like even last week, and that's another thing that I did that was different last week. I had went out of town and I did one of those ozone saunas. So there too, I wasn't putting two and two together. I should have hit my drainage, my lymph and stuff harder after that sauna because of that extra detox load, the extra toxins that were going to end up in my lymph system. So I just kind of had this spiraling again where I put on all of this 10 extra pounds. And before I went to bed, I took my weight, which that's not the time I usually weigh, but I knew I was heavy anyway. I took the 444 protocol. I was out of TUDCA, so I didn't have that. Took that, told myself then today, which is this day, I was probably going to do a water fast, 24-hour water fast. And did I put on my castor oil pack? I think I did. Put on the castor oil pack, took the bowel mover, took 4 kale support, 4 lymph active, because I didn't have the TUDCA, or I would have taken that too. When I got up and got going in the morning, I was already 5 pounds lighter. So, and I had to get up and pee 3 times last night. So that just tells me that kidney and liver support, the kale support, really helped me out through the night, getting off some of that extra fluid, which is exactly what I needed. Then this morning, before I came in, I had the morning free. I didn't have to see clients. Oh, and last night I also went down and got on my vibe plate. So got some vibration and movement in that lymph system. I did like 10 minutes. So this morning I had a good chunk of time. So I did my vibe plate again. I did a wall Pilates routine out in the sun in my yard, got some sun, got some grounding. Did the vibe plate. Did I already say that? Sorry, I'm trying to hurry. I didn't want this to be very long. Did the vibe plate and did a coffee enema. So if I would have had TUDCA, which I was out of, I would have put the TUDCA in the enema too. But I didn't. So all I added to that today was CT minerals. And then by the time I got ready and got out of the shower, I went to the bathroom multiple times this morning. And I've been hitting the water hard. That's another thing I kind of have really been slacking off on, is my water consumption. So did all that and already had then another pound off by the time I got going to town to get my shop open. So those are things that I really want you to be aware of when you get into maintenance or month 4, month 5. I'm going to quick share my screen because I know this is like kind of an argument with a lot of people. Let's see, what tab do I want? I was Googling around on looking up liver stones and whatnot, because everybody thinks they're gallstones, liver stones, vice versa. And I'm just using Google as a web search. So I do definitely believe there's skewed information when you search that way. But so if you just look right here, normally your bile contains enough chemicals to dissolve cholesterol excreted by your liver. But if your liver excretes more cholesterol than your bile can dissolve, the excess cholesterol may form into crystals and eventually stones. So I Googled liver stones, and even you don't see much talk about liver stones. It's just gallstones, symptoms and causes of gallstones. Let's see some pictures. So like this picture I liked, where this is more, so it's this ozone center put out this information, so it's going to be like more functional, not put out by a somebody who does surgery or just wants to take your gallbladder out. So I like this picture. You can see in it a little bit more of this stone business and how they might end up in your gallbladder. But like where we're at when we're doing these cleansing, it's like this bile duct that kind of gets backed up, and then our bile is we have this malic acid. There's some good information here, and these guys are kind of talking about this old-fashioned Epsom salt mixture. I have not done that. I maybe should. Cellcore, really, we can get a lot done by just using that 444 protocol. I just need to stay on it longer, and I just need to not be self-destructive with my eating. Oh, I've got to practice what I preach. So that is my goal. Keep me accountable. Message me every once in a while and tell me practice what you preach, right? I've got to get back to the zero. I need to do another full month of zero sugar and zero gluten, zero dairy, and for me, zero bad fats. I just cannot do bad fat. My body does not like it at all. So, oh, sorry, that opened in a different window, and I'm only sharing this window. Sorry about that, guys. So, there was another. Oh, I wanted to get a decent picture, yeah, of this liver guy, this gallbladder like situation. So like I got to thinking, well, if they take out your gallbladder, what really does happen there? So I used to kind of think, well, my clients that don't have a gallbladder shouldn't really have to worry about this, but that's not true, because you still have this bile duct here. You still have this common bile duct. And like your liver is where the problem is. That cholesterol, those stones are up in your liver. So if you had your gallbladder taken out, you don't have that place that they can get stuck, or sludgy, and that gallbladder pain, it like comes when your gallbladder can't excrete that bile, because these stones, they can happen because this bile is sitting in there, and the bile itself is sludgy and like bad oil, like how it gets nasty and goopy on the top. So this in here, that's that stasis, bile stasis. It can get sludgy, and the stones can happen. They can happen there, or they can be happening in your liver and dropping out or dropping in, and made up of different things: cholesterol, the bile itself. Let's see if we find a picture that's got more of the colon. Not really, but the bile gets circulated through your colon, and it takes a lot of energy for your liver to make bile. What's that look like? So your bile gets recirculated. So it's coming through and recirculated, and especially if we're plugged up, that bile, it's not getting your toxins flushed down the toilet. So it's coming back around more toxic than it was the last time, thicker and nastier. So those stones, and then this bile duct gets, oh, sorry, it switched windows again. That doesn't work. So, and then that bile duct, can get clogged up. So even if you've had your gallbladder removed, you can get plugged up in this bile duct, especially if we're dropping stones. Like I said, the stones were here in your liver. In my opinion, not always. Like I said, the stones, some can form in the gallbladder, but a lot of times this liver, and when we just X out this gallbladder, there was still a problem in the liver. There was still a bile problem. So we just really have to monitor that. We have to be careful and be aware of what's going on. This extra weight I get is all up in here, and it pushes up on my stomach and gives me heartburn. So I'm just super thankful that I have the tools to work on fixing this stuff. I just wish I was smart enough not to get myself in the pickle in the first place. So that is our bonus coaching. If you are in a program with me, you have access to, on my website, it's called that Education Vault. And depending on where you're at, you should, or maybe you should have access to that liver gallbladder flush. And if you need any help, if you're on a DIY, just make an appointment and we'll go over some of this. If you're scared about the coffee enema, we'll go over it. But the coffee enema is a really, really good tool. If I go back, what that coffee enema does is works on that bile duct. So the coffee enema, so the coffee, it just comes, rectally, and that energy of it really helps open this bile duct and helps purge anything that might be kind of backed up or half stuck in there. So that coffee enema really helps to open that common bile duct. It is a very, very, very useful tool. And if you are chicken, if you need help with that, just give me a shout and we will get you some help. I haven't done it yet, but I mean, I'm a nurse. I can do enemas if it's a situation where you just want to, book a consultation and come over to your house and I'll help you get through that first one, or come up to my area, get a motel room here in Sydney, and I can help walk you through that. And then we can do some IV drips and really have a little, really holistic healing experience for you. That's something that we totally could make work. So once again, it doesn't look like anybody jumped on my lives. I was live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and then send out the wrong link to everybody. So I'm going to wrap this up. Use a scale as a tool. Use coffee enemas as a tool, and that 444 as a tool. Make sure you're pooping, make sure you're following the food recommendations, avoiding inflammatory foods, and make sure you're getting your stomach acid up. So whether you're needing betaine as a supplement or apple cider vinegar is working for you, but we always need to be reducing stress and increasing stomach acid. So thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you drop me a line that says, hey, if you're on replay, I'd love to know that you're there. We'll see you next time. Over and out.